So today, we're going to share with you our 1-year review of our Winnebago Ekko.
What? I hear that all the time.
What?
So at this point, you're probably saying, why in the world do you guys still own this RV?
One of our favorite things about owning an RV is making it our own.
That's the way it always works. You fix one thing and she says, okay, that really looks good. Now this looks like crap over there. You know, this next 3 months for us is going to be the biggest challenge for this Ekko that we've ever put it through. Sun feels good, doesn't it?
It does.
Can you believe it's been a year since we bought the Ekko?
I can't. Time has really flown. It has.
Today we're going to share with you whether we're really glad or still glad that we purchased this Ekko last July in 2022. We're going to tell you what we love about it, and more importantly, we're going to tell you what we don't love about it.
We'll also share with you some of the mods that we've done to make it more comfortable for us and all the places that it's taken us in this last year.
And probably the thing you're wanting us to answer the most, would we still buy it again today, and are we happy with this purchase of our 2022 Winnebago Ekko?
Wow, it got hot out there in the sun, so we had to move over here in the shade.
Let's talk about the things that we love about our Ekko, okay?
All right.
What's the number one thing you think?
I guess the size. We kind of feel like at 23 feet long that it's a perfect size. We can, park most anywhere, get around most anywhere.
It's almost nimble. I guess it's the best way to say that. It's not as small as, say, a van like the Travado or a Rebel or anything of that size, but it's small enough to be able to drive it just about anywhere. We can park at a Walmart, or we can go out on a forest road, and we don't worry about the size of the site that we find. So
right.
I think, and then it's big enough that once we get there, you're not as cramped when you're inside of it. So I think for us, it's proven to be the perfect size.
Right. The turning radius is not as good as it was in the Revel.
Doesn't quite take a football field to turn around in, but you better have some distance between you and the line if you're wanting to do a U-turn.
Or make sure you have enough time to back up and try again.
Yeah.
But we do love that it's all-wheel drive.
And it's proven to be really, really capable all-wheel drive. So one of the first things that drew us to this Ekko, like probably many of you, is that huge garage back there.
We've really enjoyed all that extra space to take extra clothes, to have all of our cooking stuff back there. Another one of my favorite aspects of the van is the layout inside. We love it. It's got like 2 different separate living spaces. You got the bedroom, you got the up front, and then of course that awesome shower bathroom combination is just awesome.
We never take a shower in a public shower when we're out anymore. It's just easier.
Right.
And having 50 gallons of fresh water there and 51 gallons of gray means that you're not just taking a Navy shower where you get wet and just all of a sudden you try to rinse off really quickly and get out. I think we both still watch how much water we use.
Yeah, we do watch it.
But you'd be surprised. We'll start out a shower for both of us with 80% of our water, and it may be at 75% when we finish. So we may use 5% of our water, even if we're
and the hot water heater. I mean, it's like continuous hot water. That's
instant
been
hot water.
It's been awesome. And there's so much storage like in the bedroom underneath the beds and stuff. So, I mean, it's just
little things you don't even think about. We have a small space for a trash can that's always there. You just always had an issue with that with any other van we had. We have a clothes hamper underneath my bed.
That's always been a big
things in, and it's out of the way, and it's there, and you just take it out of there and take it to the laundromat and wash clothes.
That's always been an issue in any other small vehicle we've had, is where do we put our dirty clothes.
So to talk about what we love about our Ekko without mentioning one of the things that we use probably the most, our outdoor kitchen. That thing works for us. It took a while to dial it in. We replaced the sink with a cutting board that gave me some extra space to lay pots and pans and all the supplies. It took a while to figure out how to dial in the temperatures.
And one of the things that I like best about the outdoor kitchen is that it doesn't heat up the inside. And plus, Owen can be out there cooking, the main course. I can be inside prepping. So it's worked out good. And one of the other things in the outdoor kitchen is that extra refrigerator. And,
Right.
you know, we love
Right.
having that extra storage for drinks or, you know, just extra things. The Ekko is advertised as a 4-season vehicle, and we can attest to that because this last winter we actually had it in -7 degrees without winterizing it. So
last but not least, where this Ekko has taken us. Don't you think so? It's just been a year of exploration and experiences that we've really enjoyed.
we have enjoyed them. We went all through Georgia last year.
Miniature horses, miniature pigs coming next as therapies. I can't wait.
We went to Iowa. We've spent the winter in Florida. Just been,
We camped at a wedding.
yeah, it's been a great experience all the
We
way
put
around.
17,000 miles on our Ekko during this last year.
So what are some of the things that we don't like about the Ekko?
I guess the biggest thing would be all the freaking issues we've had with it. It's been the most problematic purchase of an RV that we've ever had. And we purchased some lemons before, and this thing just keeps, let me give you an example. Almost every month when we go to our mailbox, there's a letter from Winnebago saying, this is wrong, we don't know how to fix it, but this is wrong, we'll let you know when we do. There are all kind of safety recalls. There's just been too many things wrong with a vehicle that costs that much money, in my opinion. So we've had recalls about the Balmer, and that's the thing in the front that charges the batteries while we're driving. They know it's an issue, but they don't know how to fix it. That makes it really difficult for Lynn and I to do what we plan to do this summer, and that is go on a 10,000 mile drive to visit a place. If it's not charging while we're driving and we're not plugged in, our only other recourse for charging the battery then is to run the generator. And guess what? There's a recall on the generator that it may blow up because of the gas line. So it kind of taints your fun, because instead of having this perfect van to go travel around in, we have this van that every time we leave, we wonder what's going to break. At some point, you just begin to wonder, is it worth it? There's got to be something better out there that has higher quality, and Winnebago needs to really try to address that, don't you think?
I mean, hopefully they are addressing it. I think, you know, a lot of it is the first year. They are learning.
And
I
it
mean,
just-
we've already tried to have our blind spot detection fixed, and, you know,
Yeah.
400 miles later, it's still not fixed. So
Yeah, that's been repaired 3 times under warranty. We even turned around from Ohio and drove back to Iowa to get it repaired. And before we made it home 600 miles later, it had stopped working. And I've learned not to depend on it, but it is a safety thing that if you've ever had, you know, it's saved my butt a bunch of times in the Revel, and I wanted that in this one, and it doesn't work.
another thing that we don't love is the miles per gallon that we get while we're traveling.
I've started to call it light poles per gallon instead of miles per gallon. You know, we're used to the Revel. It would get 16 to 17 miles per gallon, and that's not great, but I mean, it's better than 10.5, and that's about what we're averaging. I think our average right now over the last month of travel is 10.4 miles per gallon. But what it means is you have to stop more often to get gas, and it costs more money to go on a trip. What? I hear that all the time.
What?
We're in the van. Okay, it's the most problematic RV purchase we've ever made, and it is the noisiest driving experience that we've ever had in an RV. And
That we can remember.
that we can remember. And I'm not, half the time I have to guess at what Lynn is saying as she's talking to me, because I just don't have a better way of saying it. We've done our best to try to minimize the noise in the cab as we're driving, but it's almost like driving down the road with your sunroof open if your car has a sunroof.
Yeah, it is a little noisy. And the seats in the front are not as comfortable as some of the other seats that we've sit in. So
You're just being kind. After an hour and a half, you need to get out and walk because they're not comfortable to drive on long trips. And one of the improvements we hope to make over the next 6 months would be putting better seats in there, but we just couldn't justify that right now. But I bet when we get back from our next trip, we're going to wish we had prioritized that purchase before we left.
Sure.
So at this point, you're probably saying, why in the world do you guys still own this RV? Why is it your tool that you use to go camping and to explore and experience things? And the answer to that is?
There's more things we love about this RV than we hate, or they're more important things to us. And there's not anything else out there that I think that we could replace it with.
Yeah.
So we put up with the issues and, you know, we go and we have a good time. One of our favorite things about owning an RV is making it our own.
It is, isn't it? From
Yeah.
the beds to the TV to
Yep.
outside the storage. So
We have to do things to make it work for us.
the very first upgrade we did was kind of a crazy one. We wanted a TV, but we didn't want it up there in the spot they put it, and we wanted more inside storage. So I went in with a saw and a chisel and a hammer, and I removed the TV and opened up that area, and we have another storage area there. So far, I don't want to jinx it, but so far.
Looks really good.
Oh. Yep, that's a win-win-win.
Another really important upgrade that we did just recently was purchasing Starlink.
Big purchase.
It was a big purchase, but we did kind of want to wait and see, you know, how it was going to work out for everybody. So we did do that. We think it's going to be important, especially for this next trip, because we do plan to boondock a lot.
Yeah.
And, you know, kind of be out in the middle of the wilderness. So
For us, it solves a lot of issues. Like we were even talking today, we no longer have to carry a satellite device because we have a big satellite device. If we find ourselves stranded, the worst thing we'll have to do is break out Dishy, point him at the satellite, and send a message to somebody to say, help, we're stuck and we need a tow truck. So it works out great for us. An even bigger purchase that we've already released a video on is that we put bigger tires and a lift kit on this Winnebago Ekko so that we could take it up on dirt roads.
he did it.
And I'll put a link to that video up above so you guys can go watch that if you want to. But
So it's just one of those things that he wanted to do to make sure that it would convince me that we could go to all those places.
right, because if you've watched any of our videos
I
before,
get nervous.
she gets nervous. Even with the Revel on some of the roads in Big Bend, she would get nervous.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't feel like we're well set up to handle it, she'll put her foot down. Won't she, Nick? She'll put her foot down in a hurry and say, we're not going across that river. Now, I don't know how many rivers we'll cross with this, but it will set us up to be able to boondock in some beautiful places in the future.
And we're looking forward to that. With that upgrade, we also added fog lights for the same reasons.
Yeah.
When we do actually go out into the wilderness and it's dark and stuff, that we can, you know, turn those fog lights on and see where we're going. Hopefully we won't do that. Hopefully we'll get there in plenty of time.
Before it's dark.
Before it's dark and stuff, and be smart about it. But, you know, it's just one of those other safety things that just makes me feel better.
Right. Another thing we did on top is we added Max Tracks in case we get stuck when we're out there. We added wireless Apple CarPlay. Now, you may not know what that is, but if you're familiar with Apple CarPlay, you have to plug a cable in, and our Ford Transit has that capability, but that's a pain to have to do that all the time, especially if you use your phone to film. So there's this thing you can buy, and we did that will plug into the Apple CarPlay adapter, and then every time you get in the van from then on, Apple CarPlay fires up.
We also installed a rear view camera that takes the place of a mirror, which, you know, without having the blind spot detection, we felt like we needed a little bit of extra help there, being able to see, you know, when cars are passing and what's behind us.
And it just makes you feel safe that when you know, if we have to stop in the middle of traffic And I find myself, and Lynn does too, you look up there and make sure nothing's going to run into us in the back, and you can actually see that now. So I think it's something they should have included, a full-time rear view camera with this. We just added it.
It also has a dash cam, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It provides a dash cam, and it records front and back, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's a good addition to the RV. Remember before we mentioned that we get a little over 10 miles per gallon or maybe 20 light poles per gallon on the interstate. One of the things we added to help with that, 2 3-gallon roto packs on the ladder back there so that we can carry up to 6 gallons of extra gas with us when we're traveling on dirt roads especially, or we're on these long stretches like the Alaska Highway or the Trans-Canada Highway. Those places, the gas stations are few and far between, and you just never know if the one you're planning to go to is going to actually have power or have gas. And so that adds a little bit of extra, I don't know, safety to
Security.
us. Security is the right word.
Yeah. Oh, and also fixed the lagoon table behind the passenger side, which is, you know, where I sit. And he put a little small cutting board, which looks awesome. So because that looks so good, we had to change the dinette table to a wood table too. And we'll show you a little peek at that.
That's the way it always works. You fix one thing and she says, okay, that really looks good. Now this looks like crap over there. And it really did. The advantage of the little cutting board table there for that table for the passenger one, it's not so big. We can leave it up all the time. You can walk around it. You can pull it to you. You can put it right behind the seat. And having a wooden table that matches it when you walk in, it just looks like, okay, that's a piece of furniture instead of a piece of something that came out of an RV.
Right.
And then one more thing that we've upgraded to the RV, especially before this next trip, one of Lynn's favorites.
Yeah, because I drink a lot of water, and having to carry all those extra jugs of water is, you know, it takes a lot of space, and plus it's just not really good for the environment to you know, recycle all that plastic. So we actually broke down and bought our first Berkey.
I think I know the answer to this, but I asked you before, after 3 months, were you glad we bought it? After a year, are you glad we bought it?
I am glad we bought it. I think all the places that we've went, the things that we've got to enjoy in this last year,
we wouldn't have
wouldn't have been able to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's things that's wrong with it, and there's problems and stuff, but I don't know. I think the good outweighs the bad.
Nothing else. No, like we said, nothing else on the market fits this niche, and this niche fits us perfectly.
Right.
So we put up with the fact that it's not as perfect as we would like for it to be, because as a tool, it takes us places that we want to go. And you know, this next 3 months for us is going to be the biggest challenge for this Ekko that we've ever put it through, because we're a week away right now from heading up the east coast of Canada all the way to the tip of Newfoundland. Now that's going to be an awesome trip for us to share with you guys, but it's going to be, it's just scary, isn't it?
It is a little scary with the issues that we've had and stuff, but we're trying to prepare for that, and you know, figure out the things that we need to take with us extra, and just in case something does happen.
So are we glad we bought it? Yeah.
Yeah, we are. We're both very glad we bought it, and
We may be crazy, but we're so happy with it, we love it.
we do.
All her little imperfections, we love it. You know, just because a dog pees in the floor the first couple times you have it doesn't mean that you don't love it its whole life. And that's kind of the way we are with this thing. It's peed in my cornflakes more times than I can tell you, but I haven't quit eating cornflakes. There's an Owenism that makes sense, right? That one makes sense.
That one does make sense.
We're glad we have it. You know, this next 3 months is going to be the biggest challenge for this Winnebago Ekko that we've put it through. And if you want to see if it makes it and you haven't already subscribed, take a few moments and click on the subscribe button. If this has been helpful to you at all, then you know what to do. Click on the like button and leave us a comment down below, especially if you have an Ekko, and let us know, is yours having issues too? Do you love yours anyway, just like we do?
Until we see you again, happy tails. I like the saying, live free, explore endlessly, and tell better stories.